today's episode, the Dodgers win again. The NFL considers letting its stars play Olympic flag football, and Kendrick Perkins joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with two past MVPs having terrific scoring nights last night. Nikola Jokic had 61 points with 10 rebounds and 10 assists in a double overtime loss to Minnesota. And Steph Curry made 12 threes and scored 52 points in a 134-125 victory over Memphis in Memphis. Wilbon, I know you were jacked up watching these games. I got your texts.
Yes.
Who had the most impressive performance, Jokic or Curry?
I've had hours and hours to think about this. I watched both these games. As you know, yes, I bothered you in the middle of your night texting. And I can't decide. If I had to decide, I may shock you a little bit and say Joker, but his team lost. Steph Curry led his team, and they needed every one of those points in that game. At Memphis, they needed every one of them to win that game, and they, like Denver, they're both playing for something. And, Tony, they were so great. Joker and Curry were so great. The part of the text conversation I was having in a thread with people who are twisted like I am and watch basketball every night, all night is, are these two playing their way into all-time greatness? In other words, the list we put together and say, oh, so-and-so is a top 10, 12, 15 player ever of all time. Are Joker and Curry now not just in the discussion, are they on the list? And I think Curry actually is, but that's for another time probably. But Tony, Joker, he does this and his team doesn't win these games, and it's sort of heartbreaking. As you know, you pointed out to me in a text right away that Joker's teams lose when he scores more than 50. They do. I'm going to say Joker narrowly, and I don't even have a reason why I'm answering that way. They were both great. They were thrilling.
Yeah, I'm going to draw a distinction here. If you were going to ask me which one would get my MVP vote, then it would be important to me which team won. Golden State won, and Denver lost. So my MVP vote would go for Curry, especially since winning that game against Memphis vaults them over Memphis and into 5th place in the Eastern Conference. So it's an impactful game. And
it was.
And also Curry shot great. He shot, I think, 12 for 20 from 3. But, and there's a but in this, Jokic's performance to me is actually more impressive. Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. were not on the court.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
and
right.
Russell Westbrook at the end was very chaotic and probably lost the game. This guy was out there like Wilt. I'll take 15 more seconds. It's not just the 61 points. It's a 61-point triple-double. You know how many people have ever done that? Nobody is the answer. He played 52 minutes and 38 seconds of a 58-minute game. He's like Wilt. He's out there alone holding the fort. So to me, and I know his team lost, but it's not an MVP vote. To me, just last night, what he did was more impressive to me.
Tony, and no Porter and no Murray, as you said. That's a big deal. You're missing 2 starters.
Yes.
And it's just huge. One of the great nights to me, one of the great nights in my memory in NBA regular season basketball. And I ain't a prisoner of the moment either.
We've got NBA questions for our great friend and fellow big man, ESPN NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins. Perk, let's start with this. The NBA is reportedly looking into Ja Morant and Buddy Hield exchanging what appeared to be finger gun gestures at each other last night. What were your thoughts when you saw that?
Like my grandma used to say, a hard head make a soft behind, and Josh just don't get it, you know. And it's a damn shame because he has the superstar talent. And just last week, I said on NBA Today, or this week, that Ja Morant is auditioning for the Memphis Grizzlies. And people call me everything but a child of God for saying that. But when I say auditioning, it's because we're not questioning his talent. We're questioning if he's the guy for your franchise that's going to do the necessary things to get your franchise to actually win a championship. And that's not just the play on the court. That's being a professional off the court. That's being a leader. And last night was a prime example of when are you going to get it? That's unacceptable, right? I don't want to be that guy that overreacts. But did you see Steph Curry? Did you see Draymond pointing it out? Those are veteran guys in this league that are still playing, and they know that it's unacceptable.
Perk, I think I texted you when you called it out a week or so ago. Unbelievable that Ja Morant is still in that space, but we will move on. There's so many things going on in the league that need to talk about. Celtics, your Celtics coming back from a 6-0 road trip. They're 24-12 at home, which is fine. But 32-7 on the road puts them in a point where they may tie the best season ever for a team and their road record. So, Perk, if you got to be great on the road or great at home and you can pick one, which one is more important?
Guess what, Wilbon? It don't matter when it comes down to the defending champs. That's what they telling you. We okay at home. We know what our crowd is going to bring. We know what type of atmosphere it is in Boston. We know that it's a hostile environment. On the road is when you come together. And the most impressive thing that I witnessed on this 6-game road trip for the Celtics, outside of Jason Tatum playing at an MVP level and Kristaps Porzingis being the X factor that he is, it's the others. It's Peyton Pritchard. It's old man Al Horford, who had 26 the other night. Like, the role players are playing better on the road right now, and that's scary for the rest of the league. And this is the main reason why I have them repeating this year. They have figured it out, right? When it comes down to the chemistry, being all in, losing yourself in the team, coming together when it matters the most through adversity on the road, this team has the experience and they have the depth to get it done, and they're going to get it done. So with them, it don't matter if they're at the Y, the Rec, wherever, they go get busy.
Tony would love for me to stay in the East with the next question, but I ain't going to do it. I'm going to take you out west to another old Perk team, OKC, which has won 10 in a row. They're on pace, people are pointing out now, to win 70. We're at that point of the season, Perk, as you know, where we're just locked in on every little thing, every little nuance of a team to see how great they are. Okay, does OKC, which you have talked about and been driving that bandwagon all year, is there any vulnerability about them as we go into this last week of the regular season?
Nothing. They check all boxes. And I'm gonna say this. It will be a failure if they don't get to the NBA Finals. It will be a failed season. I don't want to hear conference finals. I don't want to hear none of that. You have a young superstar in SGA who's about to join the company of Michael Jordan, right, this season. 3rd season in a row, averaging 30, shooting over 50%. You have Chet Holmgren, who I call the white version of Kevin Garnett. Isaiah Hartenstein is bringing something different to the table. Those two shown that they could be on the floor together. They're getting this done right now without Jalen Williams in the lineup. You have Luke Dortz, who could arguably be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And then you have your bench. Isaiah Joe had 31 the other night. Aaron Wiggins had 40 this season off the bench. So they have all the pieces. They're number one in every category defensively, every single one of them. So even when they're not making shots, they're hanging their hats on the defensive side of things. And there's not one guy on that roster that is a liability defensively. They all slide those puppies. They all have a high basketball IQ on the defensive side of things. Oklahoma City is going to the NBA Finals.
Perk, we will get you out of here on this. And in my ear, they say to ask you to make it a short answer, and I know you will. Very quietly, Kawhi Leonard has averaged 25 points and 36 minutes while playing 13 of 16 games in March. Should the Clippers go all out with him in the playoffs, or should they focus on getting him to the offseason in one piece and healthy?
They should go all out. They're actually my sleepers in the Western Conference. I think when you look at Kawhi right now and how he's playing, they did a great job of managing him. James Harden, the system, has done well under Ty Lue, Norman Powell, and Zubac is the top 5 center in the game. And when you look how shaky the West is right now, with no real number 2 option in the West outside of Oklahoma City, I'm looking at the Clippers. This is a chance for them to capitalize.
Thank you so much, Perk, as always. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all, legends. Thanks for having me.
Happy trails to last night's game for the Bruins. The East leading Caps won in Boston 4-3. But it was Washington's second goal that got most attention. Alex Ovechkin jammed home a great pass for the 891st goal of his career. That's just 4 short of breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time record. Last night's game was also notable for the debut of Caps rookie Ryan Leonard, who just last weekend was still in school playing for Boston College. Leonard said that when the Caps got into town, he got a text from Ovechkin inviting him out for sushi. After dinner, Leonard said, Ovi wanted to see where I went to school, so we went there for an hour just to show him, and he loved it.
Tony, doesn't it seem to you, when you're right there at ground zero with Ovi every day, doesn't it seem like he's gotten more gracious as he's gotten older, and he's very not just tolerant but patient with this whole thing in pursuit of Gretzky, all of it? He just seems very comfortable.
He is hitting all the right notes. The other day, he got everybody on the team to shake the hands of Marc-Andre Fleury. He has risen to it, Mike. I think he
really has.
Let's go to the big finish.
Good for him.
Carmelo Anthony made the Basketball Hall of Fame on the first ballot. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, a college championship as a freshman, 3 Olympic golds, among other things, before you get to the NBA career. Yes, Paul Skeens gave up 1 earned in 7 against the Rays this afternoon. You impressed?
He's great. He walked in last year. He was great. He comes back this year. He's a great pitcher. Mark Laurie and Alex Rodriguez will officially become the next owners of the Timberwolves. I assume that's okay by you.
Yes, absolutely. It took a long time. They got in the right time and the right price relative to what's going on now. Good for them. St. Louis Blues are on a 10-game heater, Tone. You like that?
I think I first heard that phrase, a heater, in hockey about 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think so.
I love that phrase. I love when it's in the show. A heater. I love it. Last one, Ranger starter Nathan Eovaldi threw the season's first complete game last night. That's a big deal. You love starting pitching.
99 pitches and the Rangers won. You get that? Yes, it'll only be like 5 complete games more the rest of the season. And so this is a wonderful thing. Big deal. Throw a parade.
We're out of time. We will try and do better the next time. And I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads. You can get the PTI podcast on the ESPN app or Apple Podcasts. And now,